What's up? Hope everyone's having a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. It is currently 12:20 in the morning. Um, I figured, it's still Christmas-ish. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things I like to do, I like to watch classic sitcom episodes when it comes to the holiday season. And some of my favorite sitcom episodes, whether it be like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that episode when Will and Ashley decorated the house and it was all funky and everything. Or it will be the episode of Good Times when they had that cousin that was having an alcohol issue. You know what I'm saying? But one of my favorite sitcoms is All in the Family. And when it came to their sitcom episodes, a lot of them definitely raised the bar on just sometimes how dark they can get at times. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things I liked about this show was just how they pretty much, gave you guys something to think about during the holiday season. Because, back in that time, when it came to Christmas episodes, they would definitely have like shows where, you have somebody trying to question the belief of Santa Claus or some bullshit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each Christmas episode as the show went on. I'm going to rank them, tell me what I think about them. And we're going to start off with the first Christmas episode, which was Christmas Day at the Bunkers. This is written by Don Nichol and directed by John Rich. So Archie is in a grouchy mood in the holiday season. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't get his Christmas bonus, which was revealed when one of Archie's co-workers came and everything like that too. And pretty much, he didn't really feel like he didn't really give his family Christmas that they deserved. They had like a Charlie Brown-esque Christmas tree and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as far as Christmas episodes go from the show, this is definitely like one of the more funnier episodes that they've had and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was very groundbreaking, at the time for a Christmas episode like that, especially how fresh it was at that time. So I'm definitely gonna give this episode a 4 out of 5. This one was definitely very funny and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna get into the next Christmas episode, which was Edith's Christmas Story. The teleplay was done by Don Nichol, and the story was done by Austin and Irma Kalish, and it was directed by John Rich. The Kalishes, you guys should know them, and everything like that too. They have done a lot of stuff over some sitcoms we talked about, from 227 to The Facts of Life. So they've been in that normally or camp for a good minute. The episode starts off pretty innocently and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? The group like Mike, Louie, and Frank Lorenzo have on these Groucho Marx glasses and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And then Archie, he just tries to prank them, but then they were already ahead of him. Edith came along and stuff like that too. So you would think it's gonna be a funny episode, but then it takes like a little dark turn when Edith revealed to Gloria that she found a lump in her breast, and it got to the point where it's like she didn't want no one to know about it, and it might overheard him and everything. And then she got some words of encouragement from Irene Lorenzo, which was Frank's wife, and everything, to take the operation and shit like that too. And pretty much that's what happened. It ended up to becoming the fact that she did not have breast cancer, but she had to stay in the hospital because of the fact that she did injure her legs. 'Cause I think she jumped up and down for joy, something Edith would have definitely done. I'm gonna definitely give this episode a 4 out of 5 too. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely a very popular episode. You know what I'm saying? And especially when it rose the awareness of breast cancer at that time too. You know what I'm saying? So very funny episode. Then when they have the episode that changed the game, when it came to Christmas episodes, and that is The Draft Dodger. Now, this was written by Jay Morty and Mike Milligan, who, if you guys know, they were like the showrunners for the first 7 seasons of The Jeffersons, as well as being directed by Paul Bogart, who I think was actually nominated for an Emmy for this episode. This is definitely a top tier episode. The thing with this episode was the fact that the Bunkers was having Christmas dinner, and of course, it starts off with the funny hijinks. Archie buying a toy for Joey, where it's like a guy that squirts water, but all water always ends up squirting on him, and he wanted to play a prank on Pinky, but that backfired. Keep in mind that Pinky was a war veteran like Archie, played by the late great Eugene Roach, who, if you guys know a lot of sitcoms from the 70s and 80s, you guys would recognize his face. You also have Mike, who has a draft dodger friend and everything like that too. And for those who don't know what a draft dodger is, for all my younger viewers, a draft dodger is pretty much someone who pretty much evades like the military war and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying, just on the run and shit like that. And they wanted to hide the news from Archie, especially when he has his wartime friend and everything like that too, you know what I'm saying. So they made up some excuse like, oh, he's from Canada, oh, he's from such and such that, such and such this, and so on. But then when the truth finally revealed, Archie goes in. Like, Carol O'Connor probably gives one of his best performances on the show, and he does this like this loud, angry outburst. And it's kind of interesting too, because, and I don't know why he did this, but if you guys watch the episode when he's talking about, I don't want to talk about this rotten damn war no more, pretty much with that being said, they actually had to edit that line, because originally the line was goddamn war, but for some reason the network said you gotta edit out the goddamn and stuff. I guess because they were talking about the Vietnam War, and that was like a sensitive topic. But if you guys, it don't make sense, because if you watch the fourth season, though, we're having the Heat Wave episode, they said goddamn unedited and stuff like that too, to the shock of the studio audience. I guess because, you know, the Vietnam War was a very sensitive topic for some people and shit, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, it's a very great episode. And you had Pinky, who pretty much says, well, he is actually here with us having Christmas dinner, whereas my son, you know, he's died and everything, so I feel like, you know, just ease up on him and stuff like that. And he shakes his hand and wish him Merry Christmas. It was a very, very deep episode, and I'm definitely going to give this a 5 out of 5. Now we're going to have season 8, Edith Crisis of Faith, part 1 and part 2. Yes, we're getting to the point of the show where they were doing multi-part episodes. Like, at least every 3 or 4 episodes, there was always a multi-part episode. And season 8 was already a crazy season. One of my favorite seasons of the show, you know what I'm saying? Archie dealing with the KKK, Edith almost getting raped, Archie having a pill addiction. I mean, oh my god, but no episode in the 8th season was as crazy as this episode, Edith's Crisis of Faith. So this episode has Beverly LaSalle, who was like a recurring character on the show, was played by Laurie Shannon. You know what I'm saying? Who was like a drag queen in real life. And she came into town and everything like that too, you know what I'm saying? And she visits Edith. And what ended up happening was the fact that she actually gets mugged with Mike, you know what I'm saying? And they whooped his ass bad and everything. Mike, of course, ends up living, but Beverly got murdered and everything. She passed away, and Edith is like questioning her faith in God and everything like that too. And this was Edith Bunker we're talking about, you know, the God-loving woman. And so that's the end of part 1. And then part 2, you had everyone trying to help Edith regain her faith, and it was on Christmas Day. Just a little side note I forgot to mention, the Draft Dodger episode actually aired on Christmas of 1976. part 2 of Crisis of Faith aired on Christmas of 1977, which I've always felt like that was very interesting because if you really look at sitcoms today, they would start like in late September, sometimes mid October. They would have like 9 or 10 episodes, and then boom, the mid finale, like in early December. Then they won't come back until maybe February or March. Meanwhile, back in the days, you had shows like All in the Family and stuff like that. They would have like 24 or 25 episodes in a season. Hell, Honeymooners had 39 episodes in its only season and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So that should tell you something. But yeah, with this episode, the second part, everyone's trying to help her regain her faith and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? But it was Mike who was actually the atheist that got her to become, that actually helped her out and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Saying that she shouldn't lose her belief. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that was a very nice touch from the writers too. And I've always loved the Mike and Edith relationship of the show. You know what I'm saying? The story was done by Eric Tarloff, Bob Wiskoff, and Bob Skiller. That was in the first part. The second part, Mel Tolkien, Larry Wine, and Eric Tarloff. And the second part, both of these was directed by Paul Bogart. Definitely my favorite episode of the 8th season, which I've always felt like this episode was slightly underrated because the whole Edith's 50th birthday, while a great episode in its own right, I always felt like that got the most attention when it came to this particular season of the show. Moving on, we got season 9, the last season. Now, they had a couple of episodes. The whole December, they pretty much was just airing Christmas episodes, just trying to hype up the whole Mike and Gloria coming. So, Bogus Bills, I'm just going to give a slight mention on that. There's been a rave of somebody passing out counterfeit bills. Edith got arrested for it. Archie had to go find out who was a real counterfeiter and everything like that too. That was done by Bob Skiller and Bob Wiskoff, directed by Paul Bogart. That was a pretty funny episode. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, that was kind of a filler, if that makes sense. But the real gist was the California Here We Are episode, which the story was done by Milk Joseberg, Phil Sharp, Bob Skiller, Bob Wiskoff, of course directed by Paul Bogart. You know what I'm saying? With this episode, they pretty much had Archie and Edith trying to go see Mike and Gloria in California, because originally in the previous episode, The Bunkers Go West, Mike and Gloria was supposed to come and see the bunkers, but then they had an issue with Mike saying that he had a bad back. Hold that thought right there, you know what I'm saying? And so once we got that part out the way, what's his name? They went to California with Archie and Edith, and it turns out, everything was good. Archie and Edith getting used to the whole California lifestyle and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Very funny stuff. But then it was revealed that Mike and Gloria was separated, and that they made up the whole back issue and everything like that too. And so once Archie and Edith found out, and honestly, when it came to All in the Family, they made some of their best episodes when it was just the foursome, like Archie, Edith, Mike, and Gloria. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to count Stephanie and Joey, because Stephanie and Joey really came in that particular episode. I'm talking about the second part. They actually appeared like in the little scene where they open up presents. I'm not going to count that part, but still, you know what I'm saying? And that was a very, very, very funny episode. Well, not funny, but it was a very interesting episode. Archie had a line where he pretty much says that Mike was too good for Gloria and everything like that too, which shocking line and everything. So yeah, this one was very interesting episode. I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5. My favorite episode from season 9, which I've always felt like that was a mixed season, which not a bad season, but at the same time, the whole Stephanie coming to the show, bringing in the kid, it was just like, okay, but they still had some interesting episodes. But yeah, and that's pretty much all the time I have for this little video. It's a very raw, very short video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays, and I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.